The third category of prohibition is وَلَحْمِ الْخِنْزِيرِ, the flesh of swine. If a Christian poses me the question, or a Jew, that why don't you have the flesh of swine, I will quote to him from his Bible. It's mentioned in the Old Testament, in the third book of the Old Testament, the book of Leviticus, chapter number 11, verse number 7 and 8, that the swine, it has parted hoofs and cloven feet. It does not chew the cud. Its flesh is unclean. Thou shalt not have the flesh, neither shall you touch the carcass, because it is unclean. So according to the Jewish law and the Christian law, they are not allowed to have the flesh of swine. This is also mentioned in Deuteronomy, chapter number 14. Similar thing about dead meat and blood is mentioned in the Bible. About the prohibition of dead meat is mentioned in Leviticus, chapter number 17, verse number 16, as well as in Deuteronomy, chapter number 14. The prohibition of blood is mentioned in Leviticus, chapter number 17, verse number 14, as well as in Deuteronomy, chapter number 12. Let's analyze the scientific reasons of why وَلَحْمِ الْخِنْزِيرِ, the flesh of swine, has been prohibited in Islam. The flesh of swine, that is pork, it harbors 17 different types of helminths. It has roundworm, pinworm, hookworm, you name it, it's invariably there. The most dangerous of the lot is the Taenia solium. In layman's term, it's called as the tapeworm. It is several feet long. It is several feet long and harbors in the intestine. The ova of this Taenia solium, the eggs, it travels through the bloodstreams into almost all the organs of the body. If it enters the brain, it can cause severe brain damage, including loss of memory. If it enters the eye, it can cause blindness. If it enters the heart, it can cause heart attack. If it enters the lung, it can cause severe lung damage. It causes severe damage to various organs of the body. Another dangerous helminth is the Trichinalis trichinatus, TT. But some people say that if we cook the pork very well, these helminths die. There was a research done in America that out of 24 people suffering from TT, 22 had cooked the pork very well. Science tells us today that the normal cooking temperature does not kill the ovas of the helminths. It requires very high degree temperature which cannot be obtained under normal cooking temperature. The pork has got very little muscle building material. It has a lot of fat building material. That's the reason the people who are pork eaters have got tires, have got flaps. The fat gets deposited into the walls of the vessel and causes atherosclerosis, which leads to hypertension and heart attack. That's the reason that more than 50% of the Americans suffer from hypertension. The pig is one of the filthiest animals you can find on the face of the earth. It thrives on feces, muck and filth. In the villages of India, where we don't have the modern toilets like the one we have, the people go for the call of nature in the open air. And after they come back, the pig goes and clears it up. It's the best scavenger which I know that God has produced. It's the dirtiest animal.